Hello viewers, I am Utkal. Today I am going to start with the very first lesson and it is mainly intended for beginners. If you are completely new to chess and don't know how to start, where to start, this is the session for you. And over the time I'll take you through different lessons which will help you to understand the game better. And you can become a chess player yourself. So let's start with the first topic today. That is introduction to chess. Also remember, end of each chapter will include a short assignment which will help you to understand the concepts better. So let's get started. There are columns, the vertical lines which are called files. We have 8 files starting from A, then B, C till H. Then there are rows, the horizontal lines are called ranks. There are 8 ranks named as first rank, second rank, third rank and so on till 8th rank. We have total 64 squares in the chessboard. Each of the 64 squares are identified by the combination of file and rank. As you see here, the square highlighted in red that belongs to D file and 4th rank. So the square name is D4. Similarly, we can name all the 64 squares in the chessboard. We can divide the chessboard into 2 parts. Queen side, that is A to D file as you see here, and the right side is from E to H file, that is called king side. There is also another way to divide the chessboard. First 4 ranks belongs to white territory that you can see here, and from 5th to 8th ranks that belongs to black. Next we will learn about the pieces. In chess we have 6 different type of pieces: king, queen, rook, bishop, knight and pawn. Each piece has its own unique way to move. The first piece that we are going to discuss is the rook. The rook can move any number of squares vertically or horizontally. It can capture opponent's piece by occupying the square. I have a pawn here on H5. The rook can occupy the square H5 and capture the pawn. Next we have the bishops. Bishops can move any number of squares diagonally. Like here, bishop can go diagonally and capture the black pawn on F3. Next we'll learn about king. King is the most important piece of the game. King can move one step in all directions as long as the square is not under check. King can move horizontally, vertically and diagonally. Next we'll learn about queen. The queen is the most powerful piece in the game of chess. Queen can move any number of squares in a straight line, vertically, horizontally or diagonally. So we can say it's combining the moves of bishop and rook. The most popular piece of the game, the knight. And remember, this is knight, not a horse. The knight is the only piece which can jump over other pieces. Now let's look at the combination of the squares that a knight can move. You can see the squares highlighted in red. A circle is formed surrounding the knight. If you are learning about the knights for the first time, then just remember the rule: 2 squares followed by 1. That means if you go 2 squares left, then move 1 up or 1 down. Similarly, if you go 2 squares right, then move 1 up or 1 down. Next, if you go 2 squares up, then move 1 left or 1 right. If you go 2 squares down, again move 1 left or 1 right. So finally you need to remember 3 things about the knight. Number 1, knight moves in the shape of L. Number 2, the knight changes the color of the square every time. Now you see the knight is on light color and it can go to dark. And if it is in dark color, it will go to light. For example, now knight is on dark color, it can go to all the light square in L shape. Then number 3, remember the rule 2 squares followed by 1. That's all about the knight. Next, let's look at the pawn movements. The pawn is one of the most complex pieces. Pawns cannot move backwards. Normally a pawn moves by advancing 1 square. But the first time a pawn has the option of advancing 2 squares. Either it can go 1 step forward or it also has option to move 2 steps forward. The pawn doesn't capture in the same direction that it moves. A pawn captures diagonally forward 1 square to the left or right. Now let's look at the chess pieces values. A pawn is worth 1 point. A knight or bishop is worth 3 points. A rook is worth 5 points. And a queen is worth 9 points. And the king is the game. The king is the most important piece. You can win the game by doing checkmate, not by capturing the king. At the beginning of the game, the pieces are arranged as shown here. The important point to note, the dark colored square must go in your left hand corner. Rooks are placed on the outside corners, right and on the left edge. The knights are placed immediately inside of the rooks. The bishops are placed immediately next to the knights. The queen is placed on the central square of the same color. That means the white queen will be placed on the light color square and the black queen will be placed on the dark color square. The king takes the spot next to the queen. And then the pawns are placed 1 square in front of all the other pieces. All the white pawns are placed in the second rank and all the black pawns, they are placed on the 7th rank.